Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Felisha Hennessey.
Hello.
She is a mother and a fitness coach for mothers in all types, right?
Yep.
And she's a realtor. She specializes in the Woodlands, Montgomery County.
Yeah, Montgomery County.
Yeah, all over the place. I know you have a lot of stuff in the Woodlands. You've done a lot of videos, especially like you have the whole history of the Woodlands and explaining everything about the Woodlands. And the way I actually reached out to you was because you had this amazing video, like you're a country singer. And I was like, oh, cool, she's a country singer. And then you're like, no, that was AI, which I thought that's even more genius.
That was actually my husband's idea. He's an idea man. But he can just come up with an amazing idea and I have to execute it. He won't execute it, but he has all of the great ideas.
Nice.
I was in like our morning meeting. We're just kind of running through like all of our listings and what we have going on and how can we move them? Why isn't stuff moving? What can we do better? How can we do more? And my husband was like, tell me about a listing. And I was like, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Like, I don't know, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths,
Right.
it's 2 stories. It's like, if I knew what he was doing with it, I would have given a better description, but I was caught off guard. I was like, I don't know, take this one. Here's a little bit about this one. And then when I got off the meeting, which was only like 15 minutes long, he was like, listen to this. And it was a full-blown song about the listing.
That's amazing.
And I was like, I guess we have a song.
I totally stole your idea too.
Everybody, not everybody, but people are. And it's, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it is a great idea.
I was sitting in a webinar yesterday with a colleague of mine, a couple of days ago. I forget that it's Friday, with a colleague of mine. And they played like a full-blown, like old school, alternative style video that like we would have watched on MTV back in the day.
Oh, cool.
And it was all about the inspection process.
Are you a 90s child?
I was born in the 80s, but raised in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was super funny. I was like, I did it first though.
I was born in the 80s.
Yeah.
By 4 days. So I was.
Oh, I'm older than you. You were born in the 80s by 4 days?
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
You are?
I am.
How? You were born 3 days before me?
I mean, years.
What do you mean?
Were you born in 89, but like barely?
No, I was born in 80.
Oh, then you're older than me.
I was born in the 80s by 4 days.
Okay.
So, like, I
was
wish
thinking 4 days backwards.
I didn't even think about it like that. Do I look that young?
You do.
Oh my gosh.
You do. I
Thank
was like,
you.
ew, I'm older.
I was like, wait, I'm so confused. What is happening? No, thank you. That's such a compliment. No, I was supposed to be born in actually 79 and I was 2 weeks late.
There you go. Now
So-
you get to call yourself a millennial.
I know.
No
Well,
one likes the title.
They call us Xennials, because we're like the end of Generation X, beginning of Millennial.
So my husband is 82.
So he'd be an Xennial. So Xennials, I think,
Yeah.
are 78. I think they consider it 78 to 84, I think is the
And
range.
I think it just depends on what you're looking at. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because what they don't understand is, some people don't understand, is Generation X is supposed to be a 20-year era. I think it's like 60 to 80 or 64 to 84. No, what am I saying? 64 to 84?
We're going to have to pull it up on
Something like
Google.
But they shortened it because they felt like that the end of their generation
They weren't the same.
they weren't the same because we came out with like Atari.
I would say that about the millennials though too. Like there's a portion where I'm just like,
So,
You didn't
but
grow up the
after
same.
Generation X is Generation Y. So it's X, Y, Z,
Okay.
right? Now we're in Alpha. Millennial just is a term for people born during technology.
I mean, we were really like raised with it all. It's funny when my kids ask,
Ish.
they're like, well, what did you, they're irritated
But we
with the
didn't have
ads,
the
right?
internet.
The ads that are running now on like
Yeah.
Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and all that. And they get so annoyed. I'm like, girlfriend, like this was just how we watch TV way back
we
when.
have like drilled memory. Like
We know the commercials. We can
Yes.
still sing
Yep.
the commercials.
Yeah.
And she's
I
like, no,
bust
it's
out
an
in songs
ad.
sometimes.
Right, because we still remember them. You lint liquor.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that one?
Yes.
But I call them a commercial. She's like, no, Mom, it's an ad. I'm like, no, it's a
Or
commercial.
Bob Ross. Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say.
I know. I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about how you came across my music video.
Yeah,
That was my husband's
so
idea.
you came out with the music video. So how did your husband come up with it?
He was just sitting there and wanted to make a video or a song, I guess. And he
That's
pumped it
interesting.
into, he's got all these different AI things.
Is he a
that
realtor
plays
as
with.
well?
No, he does hardwood floor repair. And then
Okay.
he also does signs. So he's got a large contract with like Open Door, Offer Pad, Mainstay,
Oh,
like those. And he
cool.
goes and hangs signs,
Nice.
lockboxes, things like that. But he kind of is like our stay-at-home parent. And he just works when he
Nice.
wants to, which is nice.
Man, I wish I had that.
Well, I feel like it's nice to have somebody home.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me, as long as it's one of us.
Right.
It just makes it easier.
Right.
Someone's always home for the kids. Someone can always run to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Someone's just at the house to like pick up all of those pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
When the kids are sick and they need to be picked up, or they forgot something, you got to take their lunchbox because they forgot it. All these things,
Always.
right?
Yeah.
My husband's schedule is very flexible, and he does work from home some, but
I like it.
he does have to drive to Jersey Village.
So because he does the signs, he drives all over the place. He'll go to
yeah.
Belmont. I'll go to Sealy.
Nice.
He's a driver.
Oh, okay.
I know. And I don't mind driving north. I hate driving south.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't
won't
like to
do
drive east either.
it. No,
I'm a
not
west.
really.
I like to drive west or north.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
Unless I'm going to like the beach.
I don't like the beach here.
Well, have you been to South Padre?
Yes, actually. And I do like that beach.
Yes. I like South Padre. And I like North Padre. Not a fan of Galveston.
Not a fan of Galveston. Not my favorite.
It's not a real beach.
It's like a lake,
Yeah.
and I don't want to go in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you weird about water you can't see through?
I'm super weird about water that is not
Yeah.
chlorinated.
Oh, I don't like chlorinated, but I do like water. I grew up in Canyon Lake.
Okay.
And the water's like, it's all limestone. So the water's like turquoise.
I
And you
haven't
can
been
see
there,
your
but
whole body
I heard
through
it's
it.
beautiful.
Well, it was.
No,
No,
it's not.
It's down like 56 feet.
Oh, wow.
Or is that 56%? What am I saying? It's, well, which is probably the same because it's like 120 feet deep. And it's at 56%.
Do you want to know what I learned this morning?
What?
Okay, so you know when you're looking at the weather, because my son, he rides a scooter to school, and he was
Right.
like, Mom, it's supposed to rain. Are you going to drive me? So I pulled up the weather. I was like, no, it's got like a 30% chance of rain. And him and my husband just kind of looked at me, and I was like, that means it's 70% chance it's not going to rain. Like, I like our odds here. I think you're good
Right.
to ride.
Or it's going to be a sprinkle or something.
Okay, so you think that it means what I think it means.
A sprinkle.
They said that it actually means that it's going to rain in 30% of that area.
area.
Right, I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
I thought it just meant we had a 30% chance.
Huh.
I know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when I see that, I'm like, I like my odds.
Either way, I still like my odds. But
Right.
it could be
30%
that
chance that I'm in
30%
that
could
area.
be red dot right over you. You
And
get
I don't ever
saturated.
look at that. I never look at
Because
that.
that happened to me when I first moved here. I didn't understand how it is in East Texas, how it'll just...
When did you move here?
3.5 years ago.
Okay, us too.
Or a little over January of 2022.
February of 2022. I think we talked about this.
Did we?
I
We
think
have so
so.
much in common.
I know. But we came from California. So you came from just another part
Central
of Texas?
Yeah,
Okay.
Central Texas. Yeah.
Would you like it here?
Yes and no. I mean, there's good and bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to come from where I came from to go anywhere.
And that's how I feel.
Like,
It's hard
people
to
go
come
there
from,
on vacation. People move there to retire. People are like, why did you move here?
You're like, great question.
Yeah. No, I asked
But why did you move here?
my husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
Work.
Well, he's divorced, and his ex-wife moved here for work.
Okay.
And she brought we moved here for the kids, obviously, so he could be close to his kids.
Okay. Got it.
So that's why we live in Aldenbridge, because my stepkids live there. Well, they live right down the road.
I do like Aldenbridge though.
Oh, my son's like, Mom, we can never move.
Yeah. We accidentally landed there, and we accidentally landed in like the best spot.
Yeah.
We can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to move further out to like Montgomery, and the kids are like, no.
So we want to move to West Texas. My husband's family owns a farm out there, so
Oh, well, there you go.
that's where we want to go. But my kids, it's such a great experience for them. we really do like the school system there.
Yep, same.
You can always complain about something,
Yes.
but I do feel like compared to other places, it is pretty awesome.
Agreed.
And I love that they can ride their scooters. Of course, next year, my son will be at McCullough, and
So I have a daughter at
he won't be able
McCullough.
to ride a scooter there.
Both of my
They
son
ride the
and my
bus?
daughter, they're going to be on the same bus together,
Okay.
which makes me really nervous. We'll see how that goes.
So my son and my stepdaughter will be on the same bus,
Yeah.
and I'm not driving to take you to school and pick you up.
No,
it's too
I don't
far.
have time for that.
It's too far. There's too much traffic.
Yeah.
You can ride. Everybody rides the bus though.
Yeah.
So I noticed all these kids, they ride scooters and bikes to school until they go to McCullough, and then they're all at the bus stop
Yes.
right in front of my house, which the bus picks up literally directly in front of my house. Like
That's
he
nice.
can walk
Ours
out to the
is
curb.
one house down
Yeah,
at the corner.
It's
yeah.
so convenient.
It is. Yeah.
And so I can at least like keep an eye on him. And he's already had the bullying issue, so he's taking care of that.
Check.
It's like Christmas Story, the kid finally just has enough one
Yeah.
day. He kind of had that.
Okay.
And so now nobody messes with him.
Well, there you go.
He doesn't like to fight though. He's very like anti-conflict. He does not like conflict at all.
Aw.
And so, but it's everywhere. I mean, you can't go anywhere without somebody bullying you. I mean, even more in our moms bully.
Yeah, women are rough. Yeah, forever and always.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's support each other and help each other. And then there's always that mom
Yeah.
or that group of moms.
Yep.
Yeah. Or dads. Sometimes there's dads.
I haven't seen it with the men. I feel like men are, I'm going to say, better than us in
I
that
think
sense.
Generally, yes. But
They can just say it or throw some blows and move on.
I mean,
Women, we're going to say we're fine, but we're not fine.
Yeah. There's some groups of like older men, like retired. They like will gossip a lot.
That's funny.
They're like little hens in a hen house,
That's funny.
Stir the pot a little bit.
But do they also say it to each other's faces?
No, they're not
Really?
like that.
Interesting.
No, I think they're just more like, I think they think they're spreading information, but I'm like, it's still gossip.
Maybe you need to just tell
It's
them
not
they
your
sound like
business.
a woman. You sound like your wife.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, what?
It's not going to change them. When they're that age, they're not changing.
No, that's funny though.
Yeah. I just stay in my lane.
Where are you that you're hanging out with old men?
Oh,
Old gossipy men.
Lions clubs or just, I don't know. I have like a lot of old men friends that are like
How funny.
commercial real estate and investment.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of them. I'm not going to call any names. Y'all know who you are. They know who they are.
Just send them this episode.
I have a tendency to hang out with older people. Like I just joined a Bible study and it's a lot of older women, which I just love them because they're just kind of like, they talk about things that are important.
Our closest friends are older as well, but I think I appreciate the face-to-face. Like if we have an issue, we can sit down and talk about it.
Like adults.
Right. I don't have time for the petty drama. And
I just don't have too many issues. And the small issues I have, I usually just find a solution for and move on.
right.
I don't,
It doesn't need to be something that's talked about in the circle repeatedly. We said we are fine. We said we're moving on. Are we not fine?
yeah, forgive and forget and let's move on. Yeah, my son, I've been talking to him, like he's 16 and he has a lot of excuses. And I'm like, excuses are like, we won't say, but everybody's got one and they all stink. And I'm like, I don't do excuses. I do solutions. Let's find a solution.
Yeah.
If you don't have a solution, forget about it and move on. Like either you
little
can
bit.
find a solution or you can't.
I think it's their age and just needing to be like redirected because my 13-year-old can get very negative very quickly. And I'm like, you haven't said a positive thing since you walked in the door. Like,
Sometimes-
let's regroup here.
Right. And we need to be able to vent.
Yeah.
But like you said, they're repetitive.
Yeah.
Talking about it. And I also found that when people are burning energy, whether it's exercising or finding something to do with their time, going on a walk or painting or whatever it is, they have less tendency to do that.
Right.
I think because they don't have the energy for it. And so I think that's really important is to have fitness, which
Yeah. Some sort of an outlet.
So tell us about your little fitness journey.
So I've actually been in fitness longer than I've been in real estate. In 2011, I had my daughter. that was incredibly lonely. Early motherhood is just lonely and isolating, and I do not do well being alone and isolated. So I was in tears every day that my husband would come home, and I was like, I don't want to be alone. I don't like this. This is not for me. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like this baby just needs me, and she doesn't talk back, and there's like, I just don't like this. And I was in college at the time, and there was a man in there whose wife, she's now my best friend, but her baby was 6 weeks older than mine. So he was like, hey, my wife found this group of women. You should talk to her. Go check it out.
Right.
So we connected, and I went and joined Stroller Strides. It was just called Stroller Strides way back then, when my daughter was 4 months old. And I was like, this is everything that I need. I have to join this.
That's cool.
And then I started instructing, and then I started managing, and then I bought that one, and then I sold that one, and then we moved here, and I bought another one, and we're just kind of getting it going. But that is where all of my best friends came from. That's where my kids' best friends came from. I still vacation with those women, and we have, 13 years of friendship because of a Stroller Strides class. And it sounds so silly, and I get comments all the time on social media like, well, why isn't this free? Well, why isn't a bar class at a studio free?
Right.
Like, same concept, girlfriend.
You gotta make money.
It's
your
I
time.
think they just see moms and strollers at a park, and they're like, well, I can do that for
But
free.
you gotta organize it.
Right,
you
but
gotta
you're not
plan
doing it for free, and that's why you have no friends, and you're lonely and isolated, because you're
Right.
not doing it, because you don't have mom friends to do it with.
Right.
So people will say, well, you're paying for friends. Well, kind of. You're paying for a community. You're paying to be a part of something.
But it's still your time and your energy that you're putting into plan it and organize it. And I think that's something that people don't understand is like,
Right.
somebody came up to me, a realtor came up to me today and asked me if I could help her plan an event. And I'm like, of course. I mean, I'm an event planner. It's part of my job. And that's time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of attention to detail and coordinating with different people and their
Right.
schedules and finding a place to do it at. And I think that that's really important that people get paid for their time.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you wouldn't say that you wouldn't walk into like a Pure Bar.
And you got to have like a Facebook page and all that stuff too and advertise it to get other women to come.
Right.
Like that's even more time.
Right. Well, and we pay for permits at all of the local cities, and our instructors are all pre and postnatal certified, and that costs money. They all carry insurance. That costs money. Like it's a business. There's
Right.
a whole lot. It's like owning a Pure Bar or a
It's making
Club
money,
Pilates
but
or
having
whatever.
friends too.
Right. And because it's so lonely and isolating, and it's such a hard part of motherhood, the bonds you form with those women just run really deep. It's just a really fast connection when you both have been up all night long with a crying baby, and you're touched out, and just all the things to be able to sit with another woman and
Vent.
yes, and she knows exactly what you're going through. It's a really deep connection that's there. It's not surface level. It
Right.
is important things. It's, hey, I haven't slept in 3 days because the baby's teething, and I don't want to touch my husband. I don't want anyone to touch me. I don't want to hold my toddler because I'm stuck holding this baby. And there's a lot of emotion that comes along with that, and that really bonds women.
Right. And being able to talk to people about it is really important.
Right.
Because that's why a lot of women go into postpartum
Right.
because they feel isolated. They feel like nobody understands. They feel like they don't have anyone to talk to. And they have their mother and their mother-in-law, but they don't remember all those things.
Right.
And so when they try to talk to them, they're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You know, a lot of times they just kind of like want to give you a solution. And sometimes it's not, you don't need a solution. You don't need somebody to fix it. You just need someone
a
to
shoulder to cry
on. Men are very much like that. They're fixers.
Yeah.
And women go to their husbands or whatever and try to talk to them, and then they get mad because they want to find a solution. The man wants to fix it, and they're like,
no,
"I
there
don't
is
want
no
you
solution.
to fix it.
The baby's
I just
still a
want you
baby.
to
It's still gonna
like,
cry.
tell me, hug me, and tell me everything's gonna be okay, and I understand, and listen to what I'm saying, and have some compassion. We want to feel that compassion and feel like we're not alone."
Right.
And
But a man really can't understand that
No.
because they're not up all night long nursing a baby. They're not touched out from holding a baby all day
they
long.
don't feel insecure because their body is like all out of whack.
Right. But another mom does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really strong connection for the moms, and the women that come out to class, they instantly get
Yeah.
it. Instantly.
I was in a group of moms, and they did like they read books. I had like a book club kind of, and they told me to read this book by Jenny McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read that?
No.
Oh my God. It's called Belly Laughs.
Okay.
I read it in one afternoon. I laughed so hard. There's some things in that book I was like, oh my gosh, like
Jenny McCarthy.
nobody's ever told me this. Like she's very open about everything.
Yeah.
You know, she don't care. It was such a great book for me because it's kind of like you don't feel alone. You're like, oh my
Right.
God, she went through all of these things
Yep.
that nobody talks about. I mean, there's a lot of things that we go through that you don't want to talk about.
So my mom and
They're
my grandma
embarrassing.
both didn't nurse their babies. I nursed
Oh,
all three of
wow.
mine. No one told me that when you're nursing a baby, they may or may not take a bottle. No one told me that because none of the women in my life had nursed a baby, so they couldn't have known.
Right.
So then here I am.
It's not like the doctor tells you or there's
Right.
some kind of manuscript.
And I'm this first time mom with a baby that won't take a bottle or a passy. And I'm like, well, am I doing it wrong? Like, is she doing it wrong? Like, what's going on? How come my kid is the only kid in the world
It's
that
really
won't take a
frustrating.
bottle or a passy? I show up to stroller strides and there's 12 other kids that are nursed and will not take a bottle or a passy. And I'm like, okay, it's not me. It's not me. It's not my kid. It's
Right.
just nursing. And that's just the
Yeah.
way that it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really great community for women to come together. And whether you nurse, whether you bottle feed, whatever it is, it's motherhood. Everybody
Right.
can bond on how difficult and lonely and isolating early motherhood really is.
I need you to do one for moms with teenagers.
They're a different beast. My daughter is my best friend one day and then just hates me the next. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Boys are the same.
So my son isn't there yet. He's 11. So currently he's just my best little buddy. But
Oh yeah, my
daughter,
16-year-old.
we flip flop.
Was it yesterday? Hated me in the morning, loved me in the evening. I took his phone away, so he hated my guts.
You're the worst.
Oh, dropped him
Yeah.
off at school, said I love you. He's like, shuts the door.
That like cuts me to the core.
Oh, you
if
know.
she won't say I
Oh,
love
he
you or
knows.
she won't hug me,
They- they
she
know
knows.
it.
Yes,
But they know it.
Yeah.
That's why they do it. So I act like I don't care. I'm like, bye.
And
love
like,
you.
nope,
we
you
love."
are hugging me right now, especially because you don't want to. It's happening.
Yeah, boys are different though. Well, every kid's different,
Right.
in general.
Yeah.
My 12-year-old, I don't think he'll ever. I don't know. He's a mama's boy.
I think my son's a mama's boy, but he's pretty independent, so maybe he's not a mama's boy.
Well, no, mine's an independent, but he's like never. I don't know if he'll ever give me the cold shoulder that way.
Yeah, I don't know that my son would either. I asked him to just kind of cut back on the video games during the school week and stuff, and he was like, okay, Mom. And my son was like, do you see that? You need to take note. Your mom asked your brother to do something, and he just said, okay, Mom.
Yeah,
Where my daughter would have been like, what? Why?
that's my older one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an age thing.
Maybe.
Maybe it's because it's the oldest child syndrome and
Yeah.
the younger child syndrome or middle child syndrome.
And I feel like their little pecking order totally matters because I put a lot of responsibility on my oldest.
I do too.
For the younger two when they were smaller, right? Like it's your responsibility to make sure that
Well, and
everyone's okay on the playground and
Well, not
things
just
like
that,
that.
but I put a lot of pressure on my older one as a role model to the younger
Right.
ones. He has a big responsibility. I'm like, everything you do, everything you say, they're looking up to you.
Yeah.
And they're going to mimic everything you're doing. You're a role model.
Yeah.
You have a huge responsibility. I'm the oldest.
I'm the oldest as well.
Oh, so you know. And then,
I have an 8-year gap between me and my sister.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think I was always more of a mom figure
Yeah.
to her. And that is still to this day our relationship.
gotcha. I have brothers that I'm more like a mom
Yeah.
to. My younger brothers. I have
Yeah.
4 little brothers.
Okay. You have a big family.
The 2 brothers that were closer to my age, definitely not a mom. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my mom. But then the younger ones, my brother that was 7 years younger than me was born. I was almost 8.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a different
He was my baby.
Yeah.
I remember just carrying him around everywhere. And because my mom had so many kids, she just let me.
Yeah.
And we would play hide and seek, and I would bury him like in the hamper. One time I put him in the dryer. I'm thinking to myself now, I'm like, oh my gosh.
When we
Like,
think back on those things that we did, I know.
put him in a dryer.
Right.
And
Yeah.
buried him in clothes.
Yeah, but we did
When
a
he
lot
was
of
a
things
baby.
when we were younger.
I mean, he wasn't like an infant, but he was like 1.5.
but he's
2.
alive and he's fine. He made it.
Yeah, he turned out pretty good. We're still very close because I still consider him like my baby. He's my baby.
Yeah.
He's my favorite brother. They all know it. But yeah, there is definitely like a pecking order.
Yeah, and I
so
think it helps kind of shape them and form who they are.
our older children baby our youngest child.
Yeah.
They cater. She's also the only girl, so they cater to her. Last night, Jaren's helping her with her homework and giving her answers, and she's like, "No, I actually have to show my work," and he's just like, "Okay, this is how you do it," and da 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 da, you know. Where the two middle boys are like, "Ugh, nobody helps me with my homework," you know, the middle child syndrome.
Yeah.
And so, but then they don't understand too, is the youngest one has to go along with everything, and they don't have a choice, and they're just kind of like thrown to the side. It's just kind of like they have to just deal with everything, and they have to deal with all the older siblings' drama, and they have to just kind of go with the flow.
So if you think about that youngest kid, because I think about it with my youngest, and she doesn't like to be alone. She's never been alone.
Right.
She's always had a sibling right there. She has no idea what it's like to be alone.
Right.
Like when that kid finally graduates and goes off, like I'm going to have to, like, are you okay?
She might not go off.
She might not go off, or she's going to live with people because she has no idea what it's like to be alone.
Yeah.
She's never been alone.
But she'll be a great wife.
She's my sympathetic kid. She just has such a big heart.
I think it's easier for them to live with others. I married a youngest child,
Oh, how funny.
and he's very good at like living with others, where I'm an only child and lived on my own for, you know, part of my adulthood. And I think once you live on your own, you just kind of get stuck in your ways, and you like everything a certain way, and I have everything in a certain place, and I'm very organized, and I like everything clean. He's not like that. He's just, again, go with the flow, flexible. I'm more, I don't know, you're different.
Yeah.
But that's what makes us great together, is because he is like that, and he's very understanding and flexible, and he's such a better person to me in so many ways.
I say that about my husband too. He's just such a better person than I am.
But
He's
I'm the
middle.
one that's like, hey, we have to do this and plan this and make sure everything's done, and da, 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 which he needs that.
Yes.
You know, he needs that more like, hey, we need to do this. This is what we need. I'm a take charge. I
Same.
don't like to take charge all the time. I'm not a type A personality. I'm very
just bossy.
I am bossy too. I am definitely bossy,
Yeah.
and I know that.
But he just likes to take the orders. He'll just do it. He's a doer.
yeah.
Hey, we need 1,
My
2, 3
husband will
done,
give me a
and he'll
hard
do it.
time, like, don't boss me around. But then he's like, okay, what do you need me to do?
I was going to say, my husband's like, just tell me what to do.
Yeah. What are we doing? What is the
Yeah.
plan? What is on the calendar?
Yep.
What's the
He's like,
itinerary?
just tell me what time we're leaving.
You know,
Where are we going?
I plan our whole vacations out, you know, what's on the, and I try not to plan it, over plan it. I
Yeah.
don't want to be like that. Like I said, I'm not your full blown type A personality. I love to go with the flow and have a good time, and I'm spontaneous. I think that's just because I had 4 younger brothers, and we were kind of like moved a lot and passed around a lot, and you just have to go with the flow. Life's too hard to try to control things. Control's an illusion to me. You can make decisions, but God's plan is God's plan.
Yeah. I was going to say, every
Like,
time
I live in the
something falls
Woodlands.
apart, I'm like,
Did I plan to live in the Woodlands? Absolutely not. Did I ever think I would live in East Texas? No. It's hot. It's humid.
It's so
There's
humid.
bugs. We have a mice problem. I just posted a video on my story today. I dropped off a kid at school, got home. There's literally a mouse. It's big too. I mean, his body is like fat. Like, this is a fat thing. These things are eating well. It's at my back door trying to get in. At my back door.
you need a cat.
Like, at the door.
get a cat.
We had 2 cats and they disappeared. And I don't really want to get another cat, because I feel like in the Woodlands, we always see these cat posters everywhere.
Missing cat.
There's like Bigfoot everywhere eating cats, I think.
I don't let my cat outside because I love him and he's my
But see,
baby.
that's the point, is I need it outside.
But if you have him inside, then anything that gets
But they're
inside.
outside, like in my like patio area and in my garage and all these places, like getting into stuff. So I have.
Do you have a neighbor who's like just kind of letting their house go?
No, my pest control people just said it's from being in the Woodlands. There's just so many woods, and
Yeah.
it's just being in the Woodlands. Like, it's a forest. It's an issue everywhere. We have pest control. They have the boxes out there. They put traps. They do all the things that they're supposed to do. But they're like, it's just such a, they're everywhere. I mean, I have a dog. So when I saw him, he ran behind my plant, and I opened my door and I let my dog get him. So my
There you
dog got him.
Boom. Pest
And
control.
Killed him. I'm like, then I'm thinking, is he going to get a disease from that? thing.
That always freaks me out.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he has rabies shots and all that stuff, but I'm
Well,
just
have you
like,
seen people posting about like the raccoons and stuff
And the
with the distemper?
possums?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That freaks me out.
yeah.
The kids always joke, "We're gonna let the cat outside." I'm like, "Don't. He's
Well,
gonna
I'm
end up
like-
with some gross disease."
What I'd like to get is some like garden snakes and put them back there. I love snakes.
I do not.
So I don't like mice. I know from a distance they look cute. And they're cute in like movies and stuff. But the
I don't
tail,
want mice either.
that tail, I don't know what it is about the tail. It just, it's like possum, same thing. Like the tail, just, it's naked and it grosses me out.
All of it. A mouse, a snake.
But
I don't want any of it.
They're kind of cute if you watch in videos where they're like eating with their little hands like a raccoon, you know?
Okay, I told you I like my cat. We turn on this like YouTube show for him,
Oh.
and it's literally just somebody's like nature cam set up on this stump, and they put like a bunch of nuts and stuff on this tree stump, and all the birds come, and the squirrels come, and the chipmunks come, and my cat just like watch it. It's his TV show. We
You're
turn on
not
his
worried
TV
about him
show.
like jumping at the TV and breaking your TV?
He's such a baby. He doesn't.
What kind of cat is it?
He's an orange tabby, but he's the biggest baby. He's such
it like
a little
Garfield?
pansy.
Like
No,
lays
I
around?
think Garfield has more of an attitude than my cat. My cat is such a little pansy. He won't do
Aw.
anything. He's so nice. He's such a good cat. He takes so much crap from the kids. He's amazing. So no, he doesn't attack anything on the screen.
Yeah. We're all like, everybody in my family or in the house is allergic to cats. So it's hard to have them in the house.
My husband tried to tell me he was allergic to cats for the longest time. And we were at my cousin's house and she has a cat. And I was like, "You don't seem very allergic to this cat." And he was like, "That's a good point. You're right. I'm not sneezing. I'm not anything back
Well,
home."
some cats have more dander than other cats.
Well, so he did floors forever back home. So every time he was in a cat house, he would come home sneezing, watery eyes, all the things. Like, obviously allergic to the pet dander and the hair and just
Yes.
all of that. But I actually think it's more like a dirty house.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think when
If you
you
keep your
don't
house clean.
it, that's really more what
Yeah.
he's allergic to.
Yeah.
Because he's not allergic to our cat and he's not allergic to my cousin's cat.
But you keep your house clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep the dander.
Well, we have dark floors and a dog and a cat. So, and then 3 kids. So if I don't clean the floors
Yeah.
every single day, it looks like I've never done it in my whole life.
How do you have time to do that?
Well, I make everybody do it. So
Oh.
someone has to do the floors every single day.
Yeah.
Sweep it, vacuum it, mop it, whatever.
Yeah.
Someone has to do something.
Do you have people come in and clean like once a month or anything?
No, I had a cleaning lady back home and she was my absolute favorite, but we don't have one here.
So me, same. Like I had this
I'm the
awesome
cleaning
cleaning
lady.
lady. And then we moved and I found another one. We lived in Montgomery for 2 years on 2 acres. And then we moved to the Woodlands and she surcharges to come to the Woodlands.
Oh.
So I tried to hire a new person and she ruined a bunch of stuff.
A good cleaning lady is difficult to find. Someone who's trustworthy, someone you can leave in the house unattended, like just everything.
Yeah,
It's
mine
a tough
had a
find.
key to my house. It was so nice.
And mine had just been with us for like 9 years back home. Like she was a part of the
She
family.
knew like
Yeah.
everything, like your peeves, and like we don't like chemicals, so we use vinegar and baking soda and all. I have my own cleaning products that I make and essential oils and
Yep.
thieves and all that kind of stuff. And they come in and I told her when I first initially talked to her, I told her I wanted her to use my cleaning products. Well, then when she came, she used Fabuloso and bleach, and she got bleach all over my son's shower curtain and ruined it. And she ruined a picture frame that had bleach on it and broke some stuff. And
Yeah, see, that's a tough find.
then the floors, and like I asked her to do baseboards, she didn't even clean them, and the floors were dirty. And I paid her a lot of money. So
I'd rather just do it myself.
I know, I just don't have time.
Well, I mean, my house is not always
Yeah.
like top notch.
Well, and I
but
don't want
it's
somebody to
clean.
come in.
It's messy.
I don't need her
but
every
it's
week.
clean.
But I feel like I need someone to come in and do the vents and the baseboards and the windows and
Yeah.
the blinds and
The,
all
like,
the
deep
things
cleaning
I don't
stuff.
do.
Yeah.
And when you have a lot of kids and animals, we have a dog. It needs to be done. To
It
me,
does.
I like to have it done once a month.
It does.
Honestly, like clean the vents.
I'm actually very weird about my baseboards. So the baseboards get done almost daily with the floors.
So
I just sweep them when I'm
yeah,
sweeping my
I
floors.
do that too. But like the kids splatter stuff on them, and I'm like, how did this even get here? Around our trash can, I had to clean that the other day because she didn't do that.
I was just going to say
I had to scrub the whole
cabinets.
wall. I always clean my trash can because I don't like my trash can to be dirty. So I'm
I'm
always
surprised at
hosing
how
it out.
much just like splatters all
on the
over
lid.
the cabinets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you're like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're eating like pomegranate in the house one day and there was like pomegranate everywhere. It's like, did a pomegranate explode in here? What
My
happened?
older daughter is the messiest eater in the whole wide world. We make fun of her. We're like, how are you ever going to get a boyfriend?
That's our son, Oliver. He's so messy.
Yes. So she will manage to drop absolutely
He gets
everything
up from the
on
table.
floor.
I'm like, was there a toddler here?
yes, same.
So we are like, okay, you get to clean the table
Yep.
and everything around it because you left the biggest mess.
Yes.
It's like whoever leaves the biggest mess has to clean the table off.
We just kind of rotate, but I have like a little tiny.
Well, I'm trying to motivate him
Vacuum.
not to be so dirty because it's not fair to the other kids to clean up his huge
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoever's the messiest gets to clean the table.
And he's still the messiest, even knowing that, yeah, well, life lessons.
Doesn't seem to care. And then I told my 16-year-old that he gets to do dishes until he masters them. Has not mastered them.
No.
No effort.
They put bowls, like big bowls, up on the top portion. The glasses don't go in the little glass
Well,
aisle.
they just still have food on them. I'm like, you can't put dishes away in the cabinet. They still have food.
So I try to like, okay, if you're going to do it, I can't complain because it's getting done. But also, like, no one else puts the cups up there.
See, and this
Put
is
them in the right spot.
this is why you need a fitness class for parents that have teens.
So we can vent about this stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Because now it's a whole new thing.
It is.
And I don't want to vent to my clients or my husband. And all my friends are my clients.
Well, just hold your horses. We have something in the works.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that you said hold your horses.
Hold your horses. It's coming. I just got to narrow down some dates to get it launched and stuff, but it'll be like
Oh,
mom only,
please
early
send that to me.
AM.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Cool.
Hopefully in May.
Ooh,
I know.
how exciting. Okay.
It'll be good.
So tell me about your real estate business. What do you got going on right now? You got some listings?
We have some
You got some
listings.
stuff you need to move?
We need stuff to move. It's just a hard market. So I've been auditing my listings and just kind of going through and looking like, okay, what have I not done for you? What can I do? How can I do more? And right now I feel like I'm just doing the mostest. And I mean, that's all I can do. I can just do
Yeah.
more and be better. And it's going to make me better.
I think it's coming. We had like a weird wave, like in January, February, we had stuff, like a bunch of stuff go under contract,
Mm-hmm.
and then it stopped, I think, because with the whole stock market thing, people got a little gun shy. And I think people will start coming back towards summer, closer to summer. People are going to be like, okay, I really need to get on it now. The scare is over. We're doing okay. All the stuff that the government's doing with the tariffs and the stock market, I feel like has kind of evened out because
Well, I feel like there's a disconnect right now in the market. And this isn't about any of my clients or like anyone specifically. I think it's just the market as a whole, kind of nationwide. If you look at the actual price that a buyer is going to be paying for the home monthly, right? So their monthly mortgage payment. A $400,000 home out here with the property taxes is dang near $4,000 a month. It's like $3,800 a
and
month.
insurance.
Right. So that factors in all of those. It's like a $3,800 a month payment for a
Right.
$400,000 home.
Right.
People who are looking at a $400,000 home in a different market with different interest rates, we're not looking at that monthly payment, right?
Right.
Most of America is going to be comfortable paying $2,200 a month
Right.
for a mortgage, but that puts you buying a $250,000 home
Not
right now.
possible.
They don't exist right now, or they need substantial work, or they're not in the best area, or they're 1,100
Yeah.
square feet, well, whatever it is, right? It's a difficult find right now. So a family that can afford a $3,800 a month payment isn't a family that's going to want to live in a $400,000 starter home,
Right.
because you can rent a really nice something with a pool for $3,800 a month.
Correct.
So there's a big disconnect
Yeah.
in the market.
I'm in a rent house because of that reason in Alden
Right,
Bridge.
right. No, I'm the same way. I'm a realtor, and when we sold our home in California, we moved here, and we were like, we're not paying these prices. I'll just sit and wait.
I'm paying $2,800, and my house is probably worth $550.
Right. So if you're paying $2,800,
I wouldn't. That's
you
half
would need
the
to
mortgage.
buy a $300,000 house.
Right.
Why would you do that? Why would you move out of a
Well,
beautiful, wonderful
right.
community to go live in a $300,000 starter home?
People are like, you're wasting all that money. I'm like, actually, what I'm spending in rent right now basically covers the taxes and insurance to live in the Woodlands.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes, insurance, HOA fees, maintenance. When you add up all that, $2,800 a month isn't that much.
No, but I'm also not going to.
But my house is also from 1999 and
So
has
is
not
mine.
been updated. It has brown carpet and brass stuff in it,
I will say
which
our landlords are
I
amazing.
hate. So I hate the fact that I can't change it, you know? So that's the downfall of it. Like you can't,
Yeah.
like I want to put a pool in. I can't do that. I guess I could go find a rent house that has a pool
Yeah,
and then I don't have to worry
for
about,
not very much more. There's one in my neighborhood.
is there for
Yes,
rent
there-
right now?
Yes.
We got to talk after this. 'Cause
Okay.
I really want a pool.
Yeah, it's like $3,000 a month, so it's not very much more
How
for
big-
a pool.
How big is it?
That's a great question. I'll show you the listing.
We have 5 kids, so.
I'll show you the listing.
Yeah.
I want to say it's a bigger house, but I'll have to show
Okay.
you. But right, that's the disconnect in the market right now is
Yeah.
people who are
So do you
already
do-
affording that monthly payment aren't going to buy the starter homes.
So do you work with people renting as well?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I actually really love
You
renters.
do leases? Okay.
Yep.
And do you do commercial?
So I dabble in commercial.
Okay.
I did my own commercial back home in California, and then I helped a friend here with her commercial because it was the same type of commercial that I did for myself back home, and so and same type of business, just all
Okay.
of that. It just kind of worked. I really had made my own mistakes that I wanted to help her avoid and things like that. I've toyed with, because we do have a commercial division on our team,
Okay.
mentoring under our commercial lead. And I think I'm about ready to pull the trigger, but I haven't told him yet.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let me know.
Yeah.
We specialize in all that stuff. I have tons of commercial stuff. So love it.
Yeah.
Was I'm at Priority Title and we're awesome. Just so everybody knows.
Well, there's so much new in the way of commercial because of all of the new communities that are coming up in Magnolia and Montgomery that
Yep.
to get into commercial real estate right now would be a fantastic idea.
It is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's great if you do a little bit of both because commercial, I think, is a lot more steady. I mean, it's definitely slowed down. I think my commercial guys are saying it's slowed down,
But so is residential.
but it's not the same as residential where it's like this.
Yeah.
It's a little more kind of like sometimes the deals take longer or, obviously they usually take longer, but it's just a more steady market. I mean, businesses are always moving, growing. Obviously Montgomery County is growing. So many homes are being turned into commercial in the Woodlands, like over there off of 45
Yeah.
and, in Magnolia and all these main roads that have become heavy traffic that used to be like a neighborhood road.
Right, and now no
They're
one wants to live there.
Those homes are now commercial properties.
It's a better use
which
of the
is
space.
great for the people selling it
Yeah.
because they're going to make a substantial more amount of money. If you have the opportunity to purchase something that hasn't been turned into commercial property but you think in the future could, it's a great investment.
Yeah.
And for people like you that can find that for them, I think it's great to know those things, right?
Yeah.
To understand that world. But yeah, so what else do you have going on? You've got, so you're still doing your mom's
Yeah, fit for mom. Yep.
Fit for Mom, and then you're doing your real estate and you're living life and, dealing with all the things that we all have to deal with in the real world. What else do you have coming up? Do you have anything other than you're going to possibly do a new class?
So we're looking at adding the new class format that'll be mom only. I just certified in like perimenopause, so that is I know just kind of our
So same,
age.
like teenagers, perimenopause.
Yes,
That's all me.
right. It's just our age group right now. So I'm kind of focusing on gearing up and getting that going, but also still trying to keep a finger on the pulse of all the new build and stuff that's coming in Magnolia and Montgomery so that I
Willis.
always have
even out
the
like
current
Livingston
information.
is blowing up.
Yeah.
All the way to like Plantersville. It's just it's definitely growing like north.
Yeah.
And even west. So even Sealy, I heard, is growing. I don't know anything about
which
Sealy.
is wild. I just drive through it to get to San Antonio.
My nephew is dating a girl from Sealy. They're very serious. I'm hoping he marries her. She's tall like me, so she's actually taller than me. She looks like a supermodel. She is from Sealy, and I was like, "Where's Sealy?" Like, I've lived here 3 years. I didn't even know where it was, and I looked, and I'm like, "It's in the middle of nowhere." And then somebody the other day was like, "Oh yeah, it's blowing up," and I was like, "Really?"
That's funny.
It's so random.
So there's a Hennessey Motorsports or Super Sports or
So are
whatever
y'all
it is.
related?
No, but
I was going to ask you that.
so funny story. Everyone asks us that out here. So back home, if your name is spelled the same as ours and you're a Hennessey, you're just related. We're just a big family. The only other people I've met spell it differently, and they're obviously not related. Here, they spell it exactly the same, and we noticed it driving to San Antonio where we have some cousins, and we're like, hey,
Yeah.
that's
Hennessey
really cool.
Motorsports.
Yeah, and so we were at at Two Tones down here
yeah.
off I-45.
Fun.
And a girl, everyone just assumes that we own it somehow or
Do you
that
sing
we're
karaoke?
related. No.
Oh.
I mean, I can, but it doesn't
On
sound
AI?
good. It doesn't sound good, I promise you.
Me too.
She took my husband's card, right, and paid, and then she goes, I love your trucks. I lost my sunglasses. But I died when he told me. I was like, ha, she thought you were somebody cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, everybody out here thinks that we either own it or are somehow related, but no relation at all.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah.
You should go buy one.
So I thought that it was a place where we could like swing into and I could be like, hey, do you have like a bumper sticker or like something? Because our names are spelled the same, but it's not. When you actually, so in Zealy, when you pull off, it's like totally gated and guarded and there's no getting in there.
Right.
So I pulled off and I was like, ooh, never mind. It's
They're
not
very
just like
serious.
yeah, it's not a good year. I can't
Maybe
just
you could
walk
go
in.
online and order something.
Maybe.
Merch.
I haven't looked that hard,
Yeah.
but I
you
should.
should.
I should.
Maybe I'll find you something. That is kind of cool. It's a cool. Your name is cool.
It
Do
is.
people say like "Bye Felicia" a lot?
Yes. So one of my favorite lenders, Chad Prio, Hancock Mortgage,
Nice.
he actually helped me come up with hashtag Buy Felicia, BUY Felicia. And I was like, why
Bye,
have I never thought of
Felicia.
that?
He's a genius.
He is. I have zero creativity, apparently.
But you're surrounded by awesome people apparently.
I would say I am. I have some pretty good people in my corner out here and back home.
Wow, I need to meet him.
He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, I love.
He has a book.
Good lenders were always. Oh, he does.
He has
What is it
book.
about?
Just kind of like his journey into lending and like a hardship and things like that. But it was a really quick, like 150 page read. I read it
Nice.
in like a day. But he's
I wish
awesome.
I could do that.
I
I
love
started
him.
writing a book like 7 or 8 years ago. I talk about it once in a while. That's how I named my show. Is I named my book Misunderstood.
Okay.
Never finished it. It's gonna be so long. It's gonna be like a Stephen King book.
Are you still working on it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be forever long.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long book.
Is it about you or it is?
It's
Okay,
just
it's gonna
my
be
life.
long.
It's a story about my life.
So my grandma had a big old book of poems, like a journal, and my mom actually published it when she
That's awesome. So
passed away.
I started with poems, and some were published, and then I wanted to be a photojournalist. That was kind of like always my dream. I was published in Rolling Stone and stuff, but not for journalism, for photography. And I really wanted to pursue the journalism part, but it's hard to do that when you're raising kids and you need to make a paycheck and you don't have time. And so one day, my kids are almost independent. And so I'll hopefully finish it, and I'll have an editor that I'll pay a lot of money because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Like, I write stuff randomly down on pieces of paper wherever I'm at and then just put them in this folder. So I have like random pieces of paper with notes everywhere. Is kind of how my book is.
Okay.
I do have a whole outline, rough draft put together that I need to actually go back and kind of redo, because as you add, you kind of have to redo it.
Yeah.
But eventually it'll all come together, and my editor will be like, let's shorten this, and this is stupid, and this is dumb, and we don't need to put this in there, and da-da-da. And so, because when you're telling your own story, it's hard to figure out. To me, it might be substantial, but somebody else might be like, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know.
I feel like no one's going to care as much as you.
Right.
Right. And no one even knows if you left something out or whatever. No one's going to even know except for you.
Right.
So
I want it to be a book of inspiration for somebody. So I want to make sure somebody that helps me put it together is going to understand, like, what is going to inspire other people, what's the important things, what the highlights are, and how to organize that and make it readable and not lose somebody's attention. Because I go on these little, as you can tell, talking with you right now, we go on these little paths, right? I get off into like Never Land. But yeah, so I have kind of a wild and crazy life. I just always have. I don't know. God might ask my grandma, like, why, what is going on? Like, why would this all happen to me? And she said, God's preparing you for something. I'm like, well, I don't know what he's preparing me for, but I mean, I'm not trying to like jump in the whale's mouth or anything.
Well, why not just put an end date on it?
I know I should like give myself a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I need deadlines.
I feel like everybody needs a deadline. Because
Yeah.
otherwise it would just go on and on forever.
So I went to work for Priority, and they gave me a deadline this month because I want to open an office in Wood Forest and the Woodlands.
Mm-hmm.
And they said if I meet this goal by the end of this month, that they would do it for me.
Okay.
I am 2 contracts away from meeting that goal.
You got like 6 days.
I know. I can do it.
You can do
If
it.
anybody out there has a contract, they want to throw me at the last second, like I can show you how miracles can be done. Legit, I've had the best testimonies I've ever had in my life.
Is this going to be aired before
No, it'll
May
be aired
1st?
Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, dang it. By the time you hear it, it'll be too late.
Yeah,
But
you never know.
you never know.
That's true. I know. I'm when we're recording, I forget. I'm like, duh.
Yeah. When is this going to air?
Yeah. I'm like, oh well, it's Easter. Wait, no. By the time it airs, it'll be after Easter.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to live in the now or live in the then, live in the
Yes.
future.
Yeah.
I'm not a future liver. I'm a live in the now kind of person.
I think I'm a future liver.
Are
I'm
you?
always like, okay, what am I doing right now? That's for that.
I mean, in a sense, maybe I have goals and I'm thinking about, but I feel like the more I live in the future, the more I stress. So I try not to do that.
Maybe that's my problem because I'm a very high stress person.
Yeah.
So maybe that's my problem.
That's why I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't think about it. I don't want to think about it. I just want to like, I get up every day and I just do my best and do everything I can for that day. And the rest is history. Because I just feel like with my life history, it's kind of like I've had the rug pulled out from underneath me so many times that it's like, I just feel like I'll be less disappointed and less stressed if I just put it in God's hands and just do the best I can every day.
Yeah.
I do have goals. Obviously, I want to get this office open. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And they made me have a deadline. And so that pushed me to really get out there and start talking to more people and meeting more people, where sometimes we kind of get complacent, where we're hanging out with the same, we're kind of getting this routine and we're doing the same old habits. I picked up some new habits this month that have been really great. And it forced me to push out some other things that I was doing that probably weren't
really
very
working.
productive anymore. Yeah. They were, but now they're not really working for me. So we have to constantly go back and kind of change what we're doing. And that's kind of what I try to help my realtors with. I'm really good at telling other people to do things and not doing it myself with my kids, my realtors. I'm like, hey, do this, do this, do this. Here's this idea. This is what you should be doing. This is how you should live. This is how you should not stress. And then I find myself being a total hypocrite.
Doing the should nots.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a total hypocrite. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a hypocrite. I think
You're
we're all a
not
little
saying
hypocritical.
We all need a coach. That's why.
A life coach.
Yeah, that's
and
why.
Somebody asked me today, what do I do? And I said, she was a life coach. I said, oh, I kind of do that. She goes, really? I said, yeah, I'm like a life coach, a therapist. I'm creative marketing. I'm always trying to help my realtors come up with new ideas. And because I'm not, people will call me with questions about title. I am not a licensed escrow officer.
Yeah.
I can't answer those questions. You want to call me and brainstorm? You want to go bounce some ideas to like help build your business? And I literally sat down with this girl this morning and she was like, I want to do this. And I was like, oh, let's, and then I'm the creative one.
And
I'm the
so
one
not.
coming out with all these wacky ideas. And then they're like, wait, that might be kind of cool. That's different. And so I love that part of my job. And I also love the part of my job where I help my clients look like a hero to their clients, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just like, thank you so much. And I got a testimony yesterday she put it on YouTube. I mean, I was in tears.
Oh, I love that.
That is, and obviously I can't even take credit for it really because it was my team. I sent it to my team and then my team is so excited. That's what drives me.
Yeah.
Is my team is amazing. Bethany and Angela, I mean, they're getting title commitments out in 24 to 48 hours. I mean, it just blows people's minds because they're used to waiting the 20 days or whatever. It's insane. And then they stay till 5:30 to make sure something funded. We have funding until 5:30, which, not some people have like 3 o'clock cutoff.
Yeah.
If we had a Friday afternoon, she says it in her testimony, Friday afternoon, it's after 5 o'clock, and Angela's in the office calling her, making sure she got her money, and not a lot of people will do that. Some
It's
people,
funny, the differences in California and Texas real estate. And it's part of why I joined a team when I moved here and
Yeah.
was able to take on another mentor
Yeah.
for myself because it was so different. Because in California, we don't care if we're funded. We just want to be recorded.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients from California. I mean, so many people live here
Right.
from California.
I've never met more Californians than when we moved to Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Wesley, he's from California. And I helped him sell his house when he moved. And he moved to Oklahoma,
How funny.
ironically. He loves Tulsa.
Okay. I've never been.
I've never been either. I need to go visit him. Let's go.
Are there things to do in
Yeah,
Oklahoma?
he loves it. So have you ever been to San Antonio, to like the Pearl District?
Yeah.
He said it's kind of like that.
Okay. Interesting.
And he found this really cool house that was very inexpensive because it's cheaper to live there, less taxes, all that kind of stuff. It has an apartment over the garage, and he rents the apartment out to this really cool lady.
Oh,
and
awesome.
it basically, like, the rent pays his mortgage.
Nice.
He's very smart.
Yep.
He's computer guru. He has cats.
The things that we would be able to do if we didn't have the kids
Oh,
would
girl.
be different, right? Like I'm not moving some random stranger into my garage apartment when I have 3 kids at home.
Yeah.
But if I didn't, great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to, when we move to the farm out West Texas, I want to have like teepees and yurts and Airbnb and have little camps out there, like church camp or scout
what's it called?
camp.
There's a couple of spots in Fredericksburg that
Yeah.
do that now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very popular in the hill country. I'm from the hill country, so we have tree houses and all that. My husband took me to stay in a teepee for my birthday. I guess it was January of 2022. I want to say, was it 21 or 22? Wait, when did we? It was 2021. He took me for my birthday to stay in a teepee.
How fun.
And when it got really cold, he makes this joke about how every time I would go back into the teepee and come back out, he was building a fire, and I'd have another layer of clothes on because it started getting cold. And there was like, you ever seen the Alfred Hitchcock movie Birds? Where
No, I don't know.
It's an old black and white movie. Obviously, it was Alfred Hitchcock, but they're like dive bombing people, and it's scary. And so I started thinking about that. Oh my gosh, like there's all these birds everywhere. They're going crazy, and it was loud. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm starting to get a little freaked out. And he's like acting like it's no big deal. We, have our little campfire, and we hang out, and we go to sleep in the tent. We wake up in the morning in the teepee. It's a real leather teepee.
Yeah.
It's big. It has a little heater in there. It has electricity and stuff. It's really nice. Like, it has a big comfortable bed. It's glamping, right? It has the bathroom. There's like an outdoor bathroom facility out there. Is really nice and clean. Anyway, but you do have to walk from the teepee to go over there in the middle of the night.
When it's cold and it's dark.
It's freezing
Yeah.
cold. They do have lighting out there, but wake up in the morning, it's snowing. It was
Oh,
snowing.
pretty.
It was pretty, but I was like, in Austin,
Yeah.
it's snowing? Like, this is insane. It was the freeze or whatever we had, that
Oh.
crazy winter storm in 2021. Do you remember that? And all the pipes
We weren't
froze.
here.
And they
That was before
broke.
us.
Oh, yeah. So, like, everything was shut down. Like, if you go, like, to houses that had all that pipes that broke and had the flooding out here, even in the Woodlands, we've had run-ins with that where people didn't repair it all the way.
Yeah.
And they have mold in their walls. I have a great mold person, if you know. If you need help, it's Beth Harbison. She does mold and stucco. She also does stucco repair. And so I think there's mold in our house that we live in, our rent house.
That's not good.
No. So
Why do you think that?
we'll talk about it after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another reason why I think we need to move.
Ah.
I don't want to move. I
No,
was really
moving sucks.
trying
No
to
one wants to
buy a
move.
house first. But like you were saying, it's kind of like, it doesn't make any sense.
And I hate to be that realtor that says it doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense for everybody, right? I
Right.
have a client who's taking out a loan that he's going to turn around and pay off in a year. And so his lender found him a great product that will work for that
Right.
really well. So for him, it doesn't matter, right?
What we want to do is I guess just continue to rent in the Woodlands because I don't want to spend all that money on a rent house. I mean, on a house in the Woodlands.
That's as
it's
dated as they are. In the
yeah,
Woodlands.
it's just
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
If I bought something like I wanted, it'd be $600,000,
Yeah.
and that just seems insane to me. I can't even imagine 10 years ago buying a house for $600,000. I'm just like, holy moly, I'm not rich.
Well,
And then- but-
those homes didn't cost that
No, that's
10
what I'm-
years
that's
ago.
what I'm
You know what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Those were
my-
$350,000 homes.
My girlfriend lives in a house that she bought years ago, and she refinanced, I think, at 2%, or maybe she moved into it. It was like 2%. I'm like, never move. Do not sell your house. Never leave. Stay here forever. She lives in Aldenbridge.
Yep.
She lives right by Mitchell. My son goes to her house all the time. We were talking about her son earlier. So, but what I would like to do is buy some land way out, like in Magnolia or somewhere in Karen. You know where Karen is? I love that. I have a friend that has 5 acres out there. I got a really good deal on it. I'd love to buy something out there with a shop because my husband started his own little materials business,
Okay.
industrial materials, and put a shop on it.
Okay.
And just have that investment out there.
Yeah.
Right? That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
So then we have that investment and we can just rent and live in the Woodlands because like you said, what it cost for insurance, taxes, HOA fees, maintenance, and if
Right.
you have a pool and something goes wrong, or you have a tree fall on your house, or you have a roof problem, or whatever, because there's so many problems in the Woodlands.
Well, and like you said, you're paying $2,800 a month in rent. I
Yeah.
mean, in the Woodlands, you're looking at maybe
And
a
then-
$350,000 house.
We're not planning on staying there forever, and so another thing I tell people is the front end of your loan is all interest.
Yeah.
So it's like you're paying it. You're not paying for the house. You're going to have to live in that house. But I did the calculation. It would take me 7 years to make money.
So everybody's situation is different, right? I have
Unless I start making extra payments.
right,
Which
or
I would
you have
do.
cash that you're bringing in from another sale, or
But I
right,
don't have that.
There's a lot of scenarios
Right.
where it is still a great time to buy, but if you're just a traditional,
First time home buyer.
Right.
Like me.
right,
Yeah. That doesn't have a
Right.
trust fund.
right,
Yeah. So
it makes it a tough thing for you to look at these home prices and what you're going to be paying monthly and say, yes, that makes sense.
I feel like there's a lot of people in my situation.
100%.
Because, people go through divorces. I went through a divorce and I walked away with $30 in my pocket. I was just like, look, I'm out. I just want my kids. I'm done. I don't want to fight. I don't care. So I left the house, everything in it, didn't take any equity, nothing. I didn't get any retirement. I got nothing. So when you start over with 2 kids and they're so expensive,
Kids are expensive.
like, are you kidding me? And then the whole world, like, everything just started skyrocketing and
Yeah.
doubling in price at that same time. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to start over. And then my husband kind of did he had a similar situation. Not
You
quite,
will, though.
but
You just have to find the right opportunity. So I look in our home in California. We bought it in 2011. It was a foreclosure. We got an amazing deal on
Nice.
it, like amazing.
see, I would love to find a foreclosure. In the Woodlands, it's probably not gonna happen, but
They're
you
all
never
over
know.
the place.
You think in the Woodlands?
Yes. People are losing their homes left and right. And people just aren't talking
Or
about
short
it.
sales.
The news isn't talking about
The
it.
short sales?
Well, there's not a ton of short sales right now because even though the property taxes are going up and people can't afford their payment anymore, you haven't gotten a divorce, you haven't lost your job, you haven't had like a
substantial
major
reason.
hardship happen, that bank's not going to approve you for a short sale just because you can't afford
Yeah.
it anymore.
So we're doing a foreclosure class on May 14th.
Mm-hmm.
You should come.
I think I actually can off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
that's kind of where our head is at
So
right
maybe
now.
you could come and like give people some ideas.
Our foreclosure purchase was beautiful. It was perfect. We made a crap ton of money on it. I would 100% do it again.
Okay. I have an investor out in Brenham. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him like 20 years. He's coming on the show.
Okay.
He has cattle and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, fun.
I'm just having him on the show because he's my friend
Yeah.
of 20 years that I haven't seen in 20 years, but we still talk.
Yeah.
I used to date his roommate,
Oh, how funny.
and we just stayed friends. His roommate wasn't great. He kicked his dog right in front of me. Anyway, we'll talk about it on the show. Everybody have to listen. But he's gotten he's a supervisor for a big home builder, but he's gotten into some investing and
Yeah.
wants to buy foreclosures and stuff. And I was a realtor, but I never dabbled in any of that stuff, so I don't really know a whole lot about it. And unless you really know what you're doing.
Well, and I am not an investor. We don't regularly buy and flip or none of
But
that.
you've bought one, so you have
That
experience.
was our personal home, and we lived in it for 11 years.
Have you
but
helped other people buy foreclosures?
No, actually, because they haven't really been big on the scene.
Right. But now they
they're
are. How
about
are
to
you
be.
finding your foreclosures?
I'm
how do you
really
find them?
nosy and I'm really snoopy, and I
love
just
it.
start looking at everything on the market, and then I can really easily figure out, oh, you can't make your payment. You're
Okay.
already in pre-foreclosure.
So we have somebody that works for us that specializes in foreclosures. So if y'all need a good title company for foreclosures, we do have somebody. We also have somebody who specializes in probate, which can be a total nightmare. But yeah, so but I just don't. I guess I need to talk to her probably and get more information. But I think it's different on our side than it is your side. Like
I was going to say, for us,
totally
when we
different.
purchased it, it was a non-issue. It was just a regular
Really?
FHA purchase. It
Really?
wasn't a big deal. Well, we also did some things that I would never advise my own buyers to do, but because it was
Like
my husband
what?
and I. Well, it was an FHA loan, and the home didn't have a stove.
how'd that even get approved?
Well, it didn't. We went and bought a stove, and we put it in there.
Oh,
And our line of thinking was, well, if something happens and it falls through, we'll just take the stove out and we'll take it back to Home Depot.
that's
So
cool.
we just bought like the
So why would you
cheapest
not
stove.
advise somebody to do that? I would do that.
I would not advise my clients to do it, but it didn't have a bathtub. So that's not going to fly for an FHA loan. So we put a piece of plywood on top and a plant, and I called it a seating area for the sake of appraisal. So there was a lot of things that went into
Pretty ingenious.
us purchasing this home that I wouldn't necessarily advise someone to do.
Yeah, but if they're
But I'll do it for myself.
But if they understand what they're getting into,
Right.
like truly, I think
Yeah.
it'd be fine.
Yeah. But that purchase, everyone in our family said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. This house is such
Best
a
thing you
POS.
did.
Best thing we ever did. I still, to this day, have not met another person who has made as much money on one sale as we made on that house.
Well, I have a very good friend. She's a lender. She's badass. I'll give you her info. I know you have your guy, but is always you got to have more than one. You know, she bought a foreclosure in Wood Forest, and apparently they had to gut it.
Well, yeah, you never know what you're in for. I mean, there was
Should have ripped out all the
exposed stucco.
floors.
You can't buy an
They had,
FHA
like,
house with exposed stucco.
I think they had like 20 dogs living in the house or
Wow.
something crazy. So they had to pull out I think they had to do walls and floors and baseboards and
But
everything.
if you know what you're in for, you can get a really great deal.
Yeah, she loves. I mean, she got this beautiful home and a really great deal.
Yep.
It's actually, she's like, it's more home than I even needed.
But if you get
But it was a great deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're waiting for. So you'll find your opportunity, and
Yeah.
it's coming. I mean, I hate to say, your great deal is going to come from someone else's hardship, but that's the unfortunate truth.
No,
If
and
you're looking
I
at
do.
foreclosures,
No,
you
I
know?
get that, but it sucks for the people that are going through it. At the same time, it's it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and God put them in that position for a reason. He closed one door, He's opened another door. He's put
Yeah.
them through that. I say that because I've had my own hardship that other people have definitely benefited from, and I'm not mad at them. Good for them. I'm glad for them. I hope that other people can benefit sometimes from my hardship.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just go to waste.
Right.
That's terrible. I don't want the government to get it. I don't want some big corporation to get it.
Right.
I'd much rather some homeowner
Right.
enjoy it and raise their family in it.
Then some bank.
Yeah, and that's why I would like my realtors to be educated on this so they can because what's happening is these big corporations are coming in and buying them all up, and they're going to take over. And then people are going to have no choice but to rent houses.
Yeah, because you're going to have to rent from that big
Are you-
corporation.
Yeah, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're on the same page. I like it.
I was too young when 2008 happened to care. I didn't own a home,
Right.
nothing like that. But a lot of my parents' friends lost their homes,
Oh, yeah.
a lot.
I just had a baby in 2008.
Yeah, but
We moved to the
everybody-
valley. We were going to buy a house, and everybody was like, don't buy a house right now. And so we didn't. But all those foreclosures, I could have bought a foreclosure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did y'all tell me not to do that? Don't listen to your friends and family, guys.
No,
listen
had we
to
listened,
the experts.
We wouldn't have bought that house.
Find an
Yeah.
expert. Listen to the experts. Don't listen to your friends and family. They don't know what they're talking about.
But even our realtor, he was like, "Oh, you guys want this one?" I was like, "Yes, this one. This POS will be
Yeah.
mine." But it was the crappiest house in the best neighborhood, and
Yeah.
it worked. It did what we
Yeah.
needed it to do.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on
Yeah,
today.
thanks for having me.
I really enjoyed our conversation, especially I got to vent a little bit about the kids, which is what we need. And
Yeah.
totally is going to work for your new venture, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do, right? Is kind of talk about that kind of stuff. If we like sign up with you and get to hang out with moms.
Yeah,
And
essentially it's going to be weight training, nutrition, all of that good stuff for moms kind of 35 plus. And yeah, that just kind of
how to keep your cortisol levels low.
Yeah,
And
yep, all of it.
I do baths with, I put peroxide, baking soda, and Epsom salt in my bathtub almost every night because I need it. My body hurts, my brain hurts, my soul hurts sometimes. Real estate is not for the faint of heart.
No.
And neither is having teenagers. So
Yeah.
I've got both of those things. You've got both those things. And then obviously diet, sunlight, grounding. Do you do all those things?
I don't do grounding, but I go on walks a
I
couple of times a
My
day.
husband I went on a walk the other day. We went barefoot.
I don't like I
don't-
don't like nature.
I don't either. Well, I don't, it hurts my feet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I go on walks every day as just part of my like movement because otherwise, I mean, look, we've just been sitting here for an hour and
Yeah.
then I sit behind my desk for hours.
And
like,
drive.
This is, right. So this is so much of our day
Right.
as an adult. We're not moving anymore.
Yeah.
So
What about grounding shoes?
I'm so not into that. My husband is.
So I've
He
tried
has
ordering.
these little things that go on the bottom of his shoes.
Oh, so I
Yeah.
was going to order grounding shoes, but they have like the little toes.
Mm-hmm.
I have a long toe. It doesn't fit. So I saw recently, just like last week, that they have like little straps you can put on your actual regular shoes that help you with grounding.
That's kind of, I guess, like what my husband has. It's just like a little thing that goes at the bottom of
Okay.
his shoe, like I don't know, like a tack that you step on.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just there.
See, I need that.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
He has all the gadgets.
So he's like kind of a crunchy dad.
yeah,
So is my husband.
yeah.
We should come together.
He I would say original crunchy dad.
Yeah. I'm a crunchy mom.
Yeah. We don't vaccinate the kids. We never ever have, and it was him.
You're those people from California.
I will be totally 100% honest
you gotta
with
listen
you.
to-
If people are here from California, they are that person. Like we all know. The second
my
we
friend
say
Megan
you're from California,
bought that
we're
from-
all on the same page.
My friend Megan bought that house. She's from here, and she does not vaccinate. I did. I wish I hadn't. But my, if you listen to my podcast with my husband that was on the show, he talks about the vaccination injuries.
Yeah.
So a little bit, like a split second. But yeah, we're definitely crunchy people.
Yeah, it's a hot topic for sure, and everybody is different and has their own opinion.
And that's
but-
right. That's your God-given right. It's a free country. You have the right to vaccinate or not vaccinate, but don't push your stuff on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have the right not to do it.
We could do a whole nother podcast.
I know. Well, we gotta go because we were late already starting. So I'm sure Dick has things to do.
He's like, get out of here.
I know. I gotta go find him a woman. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great to have you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.